there are certain topics that seem to appear out of nowhere, and then suddenly they are everywhere, on the news, all over your social media feeds, whispered about at family gatherings. Right now, that topic is Ozempic. It's more than just a medication. It's become a cultural phenomenon, one that has fundamentally altered the entire conversation we have about weight loss. It represents a powerful, almost futuristic tool. But it also forces us to confront a very old, very fundamental question. What is the right way to achieve, and more importantly, maintain a healthy body? Well, today we're going to unpack that very dilemma.
And this right here is the question at the heart of it all. It presents what feels like a clear fork in the road. In one direction, you have a potent pharmaceutical intervention, a weekly injection that directly manipulates your body's chemistry to achieve results. And in the other direction, well, you have the path we've known about for decades, the slow, steady, evidence-based approach of changing your diet, your exercise, your entire lifestyle. In this deep dive, we're going to meticulously break down the science, the psychology, and the reality behind both of these paths. Before we jump in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide. Your support helps us create more deep dives just like this one. All right, here's our roadmap for today's journey. First, we're going to pull back the curtain on the Ozempic phenomenon. What is it, and how does it actually work? Then we'll revisit the natural path, looking at it through the lens of modern science. After that, we'll put them side by side in a head-to-head comparison. Then comes a crucial chapter, the rebound reality, and why keeping weight off is so hard for everyone. We'll then look beyond the scale at the broader health benefits, and finally, we'll piece it all together to explore what a truly integrated path forward might look like. So let's start with the drug that's making all the headlines. What is Ozempic really? What is the active ingredient, semaglutide? And what is it physically doing inside the human body to produce such dramatic results? Let's get into the mechanism. The magic, so to speak, is in a compound called semaglutide. That's the active ingredient in brand names you've probably heard of, like Ozempic and Wegovy. Now, its official classification is a GLP-1 receptor agonist. That sounds incredibly technical, I know, but the concept behind it is actually quite elegant. All it really means is that it's designed to mimic a hormone, GLP-1, that our own bodies already produce. It's a key that fits into the same lock as our natural hunger-regulating hormone, but it turns the key with much more authority. So how does this mimicking action actually lead to weight loss? Well, it's not just one thing, it's a coordinated, multi-pronged effect on our body's entire system of appetite and digestion. First, by acting like that GLP-1 hormone, it dramatically cranks up the volume on the signal for satiety. That's the feeling of being full and satisfied. Second, and this is a big one, it physically slows down gastric emptying. Think about that. It means the food you eat literally stays in your stomach for a longer period of time, which naturally prolongs that feeling of fullness. And third, and perhaps most powerfully, it works directly on the brain, telling the hypothalamus to turn down the constant nagging signals for appetite. It quiets the food noise.
And what is the result of this powerful biological intervention? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. The clinical trials are remarkably consistent on this. Across studies, over a period of about 1.5 to 2 years, patients taking semaglutide experience an average reduction in total body weight of somewhere between 10 and 15%. Now, to be clear, in the world of weight loss research, that is a staggering number. It's a level of effectiveness that was previously almost unimaginable without surgical intervention.
And this quote right here, it gets to the absolute core of why this drug is such a game changer. It's not just a tool that helps you stick to a diet. It's not about boosting your willpower. It is fundamentally changing your body's physiology. It alters the very hormonal and neurological signals that drive the desire to eat. This is a crucial distinction. It's an intervention at the level of biology, which is precisely why it works so reliably for so many people who have struggled for years with behavioral approaches alone. It changes the rules of the game.
Okay, so we've established the power of the new contender. Now let's turn our attention to the long-reigning champion, the so-called natural path. And I want to be very clear. We're not just going to repeat the tired old advice to eat less and move more. We're going to revisit this entire concept, but we're going to look at it with the rigor and understanding of modern science.
First, let's define our terms. When we say natural fat loss in this context, we aren't talking about something vague or unscientific. We are referring to a very specific, evidence-based strategy. It's the process of achieving weight loss by creating a sustainable, interlocking system, a system that combines nutrition, physical activity, and the crucial element of behavior change, all designed to work not for a month or a year, but for a lifetime. The key word here is sustainable.
So what does this system actually look like? Well, it's built on 4 essential pillars. The first is the law of thermodynamics, a caloric deficit. This is the non-negotiable foundation. You simply must expend more energy than you consume to lose fat. But how you create that deficit is what matters. That brings us to pillar 2, a high protein intake. Protein is a powerful tool. It's more satiating than fats or carbs, which helps you feel full on fewer calories, and crucially, it helps your body preserve precious lean muscle mass while you're losing fat. Pillar 3 is regular exercise. The recommendation is over 150 minutes per week. This does more than just burn calories. It reshapes your metabolism and improves your overall health. And finally, the 4th pillar, the one that holds the entire structure up, permanent habit change. This is the mental shift away from the idea of a temporary diet and toward the construction of a new, sustainable lifestyle.
All right, we now have a solid understanding of the mechanics of both approaches. We see the biological power of the pharmaceutical path and the systematic behavioral foundation of the natural path. So now, it's time for the main event. Let's play some side-by-side, hormones versus habits. Let's see how they stack up on the metrics that really count.
If you were to boil each approach down to its absolute essence, this is what you'd get. On the one hand, semaglutide is all about hormonal appetite modulation. It's a top-down approach. It sends a powerful chemical signal from the outside in, telling your body and brain that you're not hungry. On the other hand, the diet and exercise path is about managing the energy intake versus expenditure balance. It's a bottom-up approach. It requires conscious behavioral management of the energy equation. One is a biological hack, the other is a behavioral system.
And this table really lays out the trade-offs in stark relief. Let's walk through it. In terms of pure, raw weight loss efficacy over 1 to 2 years, semaglutide has a clear advantage, 10 to 15% versus a more typical 5 to 10% for lifestyle changes alone. But then look at the other factors. Does it require long-term use? For the drug, the answer is a definitive yes if you want to maintain the results. For the naturopath, well, it's a lifestyle by its very definition. And then there's that critical line, sustainability after stopping. For the drug, it's rated as poor unless significant behavior changes occurred in the meantime. For the naturopath, sustainability is potentially much better if, and it's a big if, those habits have become truly ingrained. And of course, there's the cost, high and ongoing for the drug versus relatively low for diet and exercise.
But here's where the story gets really interesting. This doesn't have to be a simple either-or proposition. In fact, the most compelling research suggests it shouldn't be. The clinical trials are very clear on this point. When you combine semaglutide with professional lifestyle counseling, the results are significantly better than what you get from lifestyle counseling on its own. This suggests the drug shouldn't be seen as a replacement for habit change, but perhaps as a powerful catalyst, a tool that makes meaningful habit change more achievable.
Now we have to address what is, without a doubt, the single biggest challenge in all of weight management. It's the elephant in every room, the ghost that haunts every success story. I'm talking about the rebound, the phenomenon of weight regain. And what's crucial to understand is that this is a challenge that affects both pathways. It's a universal problem.
Just take a moment to look at these numbers. They tell a very sobering story. Research suggests that a staggering 80%, 80, of people who lose a significant amount of weight through traditional diet and exercise will eventually regain it. But here's the fascinating and crucial parallel. Real-world data shows that most patients who start on a drug like Ozempic will stop taking it within 2 years. The reasons vary: cost, side effects, access, but the result is the same. The challenge of long-term maintenance is a formidable and universal foe.
And this is the critical piece of the puzzle for the pharmaceutical path. When you stop taking the medication, you aren't just forgetting to take a pill. You are removing the very thing that was suppressing your body's natural hormonal drives. You're taking down the dam. And when that dam is gone, the old signals of hunger and appetite come rushing back with a vengeance. And if new, deeply ingrained habits haven't been built to counteract that flood, the weight almost inevitably follows. We're at about the halfway point, and this is a perfect moment to pause. If you're finding this breakdown valuable and want to see more deep dives into complex topics, please take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. And remember to check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent or need life insurance. My team and I are here to help, nationwide. All right, let's continue.
So why does this rebound happen? Why is our body so determined to regain lost weight? The prevailing scientific explanation is something called the weight set point theory. Think of it like a thermostat. The theory suggests that your body has a certain weight range that it considers normal or safe, and it will deploy a whole arsenal of powerful tools to defend that range. When you lose weight and drop below that set point, your body perceives it as a threat, a famine essentially. and it fights back with powerful metabolic and hormonal adaptations. Your metabolism might slow down, and your hunger hormones will scream for you to eat more.
And this quote drives home the most important takeaway about weight maintenance. This is the great equalizer. It does not matter how you lost the weight, whether through meticulous dieting, intense exercise, or a powerful medication. Your body's physiological drive to return to its set point is a relentless biological force. It is not a moral failing, it is not a lack of willpower, it is a deeply ingrained feature of human physiology designed for survival. And what this means profoundly is that any successful long-term strategy must include ongoing, permanent counter-strategies to fight that biological pull.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about weight, but we all know that health is so much more than just a number on a scale. The ultimate goal of any of these interventions should be to improve overall long-term health and well-being. So let's broaden our perspective now and compare the wider range of health benefits that are associated with each of these paths.
The documented health benefits of semaglutide are significant and extend far beyond just weight reduction. Remember, it was originally developed as a drug for type 2 diabetes, so it is incredibly effective at improving blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. Major clinical trials have also shown that it significantly reduces key markers for cardiovascular risk, things like blood pressure and cholesterol. And there is compelling emerging research that suggests it may also have a broader anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body. These are powerful, positive health outcomes.
Now let's look at the benefits of a natural, active lifestyle. They are, in a word, comprehensive. You absolutely see similar improvements in metabolic health and cardiovascular function, but then you get a whole host of other benefits that a medication alone simply cannot provide. You get strengthened musculoskeletal resilience, that means stronger muscles and denser bones, which is absolutely critical for healthy aging and preventing injury. And then there is the profound, well-documented, and life-changing positive impact that regular physical activity and a nutrient-dense diet have on our mental health, reducing anxiety, fighting depression, and improving cognitive function. It's a true whole-body, whole-person improvement.
So where does all of this leave us? We've seen the undeniable power of a biological tool. We've also seen the absolute necessity of long-term behavioral change. It seems the answer isn't to choose one and discard the other. So let's spend our final few minutes exploring how these two paths can converge into a single integrated strategy for the future.
When you synthesize all the evidence, the most intelligent and durable strategy appears to be a hybrid one. It looks something like this. Step 1. For the right person, when it's clinically appropriate, use the medication as the powerful tool that it is. Use it to create momentum and achieve initial results that might have felt impossible before. But, and this is the most important part, step 2 is to act simultaneously. Use the time when the medication is quieting the food noise and suppressing appetite to aggressively build the deep, sustainable lifestyle habits around nutrition and physical activity. And that all leads to step 3. Create a clear, actionable maintenance plan for an eventual future without the medication, a plan built on the foundation of those new habits.
And so we end where we began, but with a new perspective. Perhaps the Ozempic dilemma isn't really a dilemma at all. Perhaps it's not a choice between a miracle drug on one side and the natural path on the other. Maybe the real breakthrough, the true future of sustainable weight management, lies in the intelligent and thoughtful combination of the two, using the very best of modern biology to open a window of opportunity, and then using that precious window to build the lasting behaviors that lead to a lifetime of genuine health. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive. I hope you found it valuable. Before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I are ready to help you anywhere nationwide. We'll see you next time.